Welcome to the 2025 AZA Conference Recap episode. Hello, I'm John Rossi. I'm a touring drummer with a passion for animal conservation. When I'm on the road, I spend as much time as possible visiting zoos, aquariums, and conservation organizations. Now, I want to share those places with you. I'll be talking to keepers, vets, conservationists, anyone who can help me in my mission of connecting my people to animals through their people. Join me on my Rossifari. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to a incredibly special episode of the Rossifari podcast, one that happens every year and that I'm always excited to be bringing to you, which is my recap of my experience at the AZA Conference. Now, this is the fourth year in a row that I have gone to the conference and am doing a bit of a recap for y'all, but this one's a little bit different than the other ones because, as those of you who listen regularly know, I am currently in the midst of a production of Million Dollar Quartet at the Walnut Street Theater in Philadelphia. And we have Mondays off, so I was able to go to the conference on our Monday off, and the team was nice enough to let me stay on Tuesday, even though I am both drumming and music directing this show, so it's pretty rare to be let out for a whole day during the rehearsal process, but the team understood how much this meant to me, and so they let me also enjoy the conference on Tuesday. Now, what that meant was that I played the drums for 6 hours on Sunday and then flew down to Tampa. And then I was at the conference as late as I could be on Tuesday and then flew back to Philadelphia, got into my housing at roughly 1 o'clock in the morning and was behind a set of drums by 9:30 in the morning. So, to say it was a whirlwind of a trip is the understatement of the century. But I'm so grateful to the team at Walnut Street Theater for letting me do this, for my cast for not only being understanding, but actually being really supportive and curious about what I was doing and encouraging. And then for just, everyone at AZA for being amazing. And so even though I was only there for 2 days, I shoved my microphone under a whole lot of people's noses so that you could hear different takes on what people had experienced at AZA up to that point. And the interesting thing here is you'll notice that a lot of the people that you might expect to hear from aren't on this episode. And that's just because I ran out of time. I was trying to connect with people like Tiffany James, who has been on here before, but we ran into each other and we had some fun social time, but there was never a moment where I could, shove a microphone under her nose and get some commentary. So there are some amazing people on this episode, though. We have the students from the Trevor Lovejoy Zoo who were there, the 4 head student curators, and I love getting their perspective every year. We also have some people from Friends University. And you might not have heard of that before, but I'm excited to introduce you to some of these people, and you're gonna see why when we talk to them and what makes all of that special. And then we've got a name or two that you've heard on the podcast before, some people that we love to have on, notably Dan Ashe, the president and CEO of the AZA. And that was one of those moments. I've mentioned this every year. But every year, nothing is more indicative to me and to my brain of where the podcast is than what my experience is like at AZA. Doesn't matter what the numbers are, doesn't matter anything. What matters is what happens at the conference, because I went for the first time 4 years ago. The podcast had been around, I think, probably a little over a year at that point. And I tried so hard to talk to people and explain who I was and what I was doing. And there were some really cool moments where people knew me and shouted Rossifari, and it was very cool. But nobody knew who I was. Very few people did. Nobody who's what you would consider a name in the industry, whatever. And then the second year, I was like, okay, I built a little bit of a tribe, a little bit of a following. Some people knew me. It was very cool. I was still mostly explaining who I was and what I did. Then last year, there were still those moments of explaining, again, what Rossifari is, but it was so much more of people being like, oh man, I would love to be on your podcast. Or like, oh man, I've heard of you. Or even a couple people being like, hey, why haven't you come to our zoo yet? And this year, it was just hanging out with my tribe. I don't know a better way to put it. It was such a comfortable, such a fun thing, connecting with so many people who I used to be, frankly, intimidated by, sought me out, right? The opening night icebreaker was at the Florida Aquarium, and you'll hear more about that in a little bit. But Steve Martin was there. And Steve Martin, the incredible training guru who has not only been on the podcast, but has sent a lot of his staff onto the podcast. The very first icebreaker that I ever went to, which was at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, I saw him there. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to introduce myself to this guy. And I remember I walked up and I waited patiently for the other people to talk to him. And then I kind of explained what I did and handed him a card and ran away because I was like, you don't want to talk to me. But Steve and I have become friends. And so when we were walking through the Florida Aquarium, I was with a group of people and he saw me. And he just wrapped his arm around me, pulled me over, and started introducing me to other people and telling me why they should be on my podcast, and also telling them, like, this guy, you've got to get on this thing. It's really great. You need to do it. And I was like, that's incredible to have gone from that to, that scared guy talking to Steve, to having Steve advocating for me without me asking him to. What an amazing bit of growth, and what a great way to measure that growth. And another one of the big fun moments was that getting Dan Ashe on, right? That was not a preordained thing. But what happened was I saw Dan and I was like, hey, I want to talk to Dan. And so I grabbed Sarah Gilsel, who is the VP of Comms for the AZA, who I've, become very close with. And I was like, hey, can I get Dan for 5 or 10 minutes? And Dan's there talking to important people. And she walks up and waits, politely until there's a pause, and then says, hey, when can we give John a couple minutes? And Dan comes over and is like, oh my gosh, John, it's good to see you. Shakes my hand. And he's like, I have some time now. I don't know if you could record now. And I was like, let's go. And I pulled microphones out of my bag and I was suddenly doing an interview with Dan Ashe. And again, at that first AZA conference, I introduced myself to Dan, and it was really awkward, and I basically ran away again. And those of you who know me know, it's not like I get intimidated by people, but I did feel weird trying to explain what Rossifari was to people who were really in the industry. And now they know, and they seek me out, or they're happy to spend time with me. And it really means a lot to me. So I only got to attend a couple of sessions. And for those of you who are listening to this for the first time, don't worry. This isn't my normal length, rambly introduction. Instead, I like to kind of recap my own conference thoughts and experience, and then I'll get you to the other people who I'm going to share with you. I only got to attend 2 of the actual sessions because the rest of the time I was either working on safe red panda stuff, safe tree kangaroo stuff, or Rossifari stuff. But the first one I went to was the welfare committee had a awesome session all about how you register the welfare of animals from facility to facility. And a lot of it was focused on animals that are maybe harder to understand the welfare of. And you're actually going to hear a full episode kind of talking about this topic down the road a little bit. I already recorded it with a member of the AZA Welfare Committee. But one of the questions that came up was, how do you know if a sand dollar has a good body condition score? In other words, can you have a fat sand dollar? And if so, how do you help it? Those types of things and those types of thoughts are the things that are going on at AZA accredited facilities all the time that, we never hear about. What social media person is going to share about the potential fatness of sand dollars, right? But it's amazing how much care and thought goes into everything done at these facilities. I also got to attend an incredible marketing session where our good friend Kelly Palawi spoke, and you heard her on the recap episode last year. And yeah, crushed it. By the way, that was about streaming Red Panda Cubs on Twitch. So, like, you know that the presentation was awesome and the pictures were fantastic. And then, of course, there was the third session I got to attend, which was the one I spoke at, the Safe Red Panda presentation, where we shared the work that we've done and what's coming up with the people at the conference. And last year, I think I spoke for about 5 minutes, and this year was probably 20, 25. And there was so much to share, and it was so cool to see these people get excited. And people came up to me afterwards, and there are a few facilities that specifically want to meet with me to talk about possibly, joining Safe Red Panda. And that is the goal, and that is the dream. And so I'm really, really proud of that. There's another thing that I wanted to share with y'all that I thought was particularly cool. So the Florida Aquarium was one of the host institutions, along with Busch Gardens and Zoo Tampa at Lowry Park. And not only did they do an incredible icebreaker, but they did a really cool thing that is, they did a lasting legacy project. And so the Florida Aquarium is planting one mangrove tree for every AZA member organization attending the conference. And not only is planting mangroves important because mangroves, ecological restoration is always good, but mangroves remove CO2 from the air, provide fish with nurseries for their young, provide birds with nesting sites, provide local habitats and communities from storm surge, and protect corals and seagrasses from loose sediment. And so they actually had, I think it was over 300 baby mangroves, I guess we call them manlets, that you could walk around and see, and every one of them had a sign on it that had the name of one of the AZA facilities that was represented there. So you could go up and you could see the Columbus Zoo's mangrove or the Florida Aquarium's mangrove or whatever. And I just thought that was such a cool and beautiful thing. And I posted some pictures of it last week, and I just, I can't say enough about how amazing it was. And so to all of the people that spent time with me in my 2 days at the conference, thank you so much. What a freaking joy. I don't think I've ever been sadder leaving a place than I was leaving the conference, especially knowing that it was going to continue on without me. That just seems rude, honestly. You would think everyone would have just left when they found out that I had to leave, but no, they kept on keeping on and doing the thing. And so, yeah. So those are some of my thoughts. And now I'm going to share with you the thoughts of some students and some people in the industry. And of course, you're also going to hear, like I said, from Dan Ashe. So we'll get to those interviews now, and I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks for listening. All right. So who the heck are all of you? Introduce yourselves.
My name is Mary Curran.
Oh my God, talk like you're actually talking.
Okay. My name is Mary Curran.
My name is Jaden Lansdowne Vaughn.
I'm Elena Jones.
I'm Olivia Jones. No, we're not related.
I'm Abigail Wiest. Hello, I'm Shanae Anderson, and we're all with the Zoo Science program at Friends University in Wichita, Kansas.
Yes, which I did not know existed until now, and I'm very excited about this. So first of all, thank you all for coming up and saying hello yesterday. As per my Instagram plea, it was nice to kind of meet y'all and find out about this program. And I'm hoping we can chat more about this program, on an episode down the road, because y'all are awesome. Abigail's afraid of the microphone. I'm just calling that out right now. She's handing that thing out like it is on fire. That's okay.
Might be afraid of the microphone. No, it's okay. I just don't want to be like.
That's fair. But so cool. So Zoo Science program, and you're all here. And so, like, how did you guys get to come to AZA? Because this is Tampa, which is not Kansas.
Very much so.
Yeah. I think one of our poster presenters should go first.
Yes, I can. So last semester, I did an internship with our colobus monkeys and okapis at Sedgwick County Zoo, and we are required to do a capstone project. And so I tell Shanae everything. I can't seem to keep my mouth shut. Information just comes out, and I'm like, oh, okay, whoops. But I was telling her about my enrichment project of a choice board for colobus monkeys, and she said, oh, you should try to enter it in for the AZA conference and see if you get selected to either present or do a buzz. And so I decided to at least go for it, because the worst they can tell me is no. And by some chance, they said, yeah, sure, you can do your poster presentation. And so told Shanae I was all excited, and yeah.
That's awesome. So for your poster presentation, do you know what to expect yet? I'm assuming this is your first time at the conference.
It is my first time. Kind of. I mean, obviously, I know I'm going to be standing there, and people, I hope, will ask me questions, because I'm more than happy to answer them. But other than that, I'm not too sure. We just put my poster up, and I walked in, and I'm like all deer in a headlights going, whoa, this is so cool. But
that's awesome. No, we love on the posters. You will get so much interaction and talk to so many people, and it will all be people who read what you did and actually care about that. Like last year at posters, there's this woman, Diana, who I've become good friends with, who is at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo and did a poster on tree kangaroos. And I'm interviewing her now for the podcast. But like, I saw tree kangaroos, so I went there and we talked for like 15 minutes, and it started a relationship. And other people walked right by and did not care. But then they saw cheetahs, and they were like, "Ooh, cheetahs!" And you know, it's that kind of thing. So it's like, it is the ultimate way to network with people that have similar interests, and I think you're gonna love it. It's a really good experience.
I'm excited. So.
Yeah. So then, did the rest of y'all just like get to come too? Like, how did that work out?
We do have one other presenter, but the rest of us were just like, we want to go too. So now we're here. We're very excited too. We're very excited to see Mary and Destiny talk about their passions and what they've learned and everything. So it's an honor to be here for all of us.
Yeah, so very cool. So, okay, so you've been here how many days now?
3,
Oh gosh.
2, This is the third day.
Yes.
So y'all don't study math no, I'm kidding. No, okay. I will say, for those that are listening, conference just becomes a nonstop blur. It's insane. I can't even believe I'm here before coffee this morning. And that never happens. So, So, okay, so 3 days so far. And tell me some of the things you've seen.
Well, I was very excited to talk to you about the tree kangaroo safe. And so that's been probably my standout experience so far.
Cool, and we'll come back to that, because I want to hit that, and like it so shows what this conference is. But
Absolutely.
So cool, I'm glad that was your favorite. Pass it on for someone else now, but I promise I'm coming back to you. Okay, because that was very cool.
I've been to a few safes. I went to the safe for maned wolves and sea turtles. I was very excited about the maned wolves one, because they're one of my absolute favorite animals. I also went to the clouded leopard SSP, and that was very, very interesting, just because there's so much information I just don't think about. Like, they're talking about like all these transfers and like all of their like breeding programs, and like it's just so interesting, because this is just behind the scenes world that I've just never thought about before, and now I'm seeing it, and it's amazing to me.
That's awesome.
I went to a student networking event and got a lot of advice on resumes, job applications. And then I also think one of the more interesting things that I've learned was from the Red Panda Safe.
Yay!
About the bridges that they're using and building to connect habitats through the canopy, and how they're actually testing the design with red pandas in zoos. And I guess I never thought about like testing your design before you take it out into the field using the zoo animals.
I will just say really quickly that like sitting on that for the last 2 years, when I have this podcast and love talking red pandas, might be the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. So yeah. And Shanae?
I was really excited to hear more about the Girl Scouts and their partnership, or that they have taken on the black-footed ferret this year as kind of their cookie spokes animal, and what that can do to impact black-footed ferret conservation. The AZA is really focused a lot more in North America with the songbirds, the grassland, the bison, the black-footed ferret, just to name a few. So to see the black-footed ferret, an animal that most people don't even know exists, be elevated to something as the cookie animal of the year, I think is going to be a really big thing, and I'm very excited to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. Awesome. So is there anything else that any of y'all want to say, again, not touching the tree kangaroo thing, about the just the experience that you've had so far?
I will say for me, I'm more on the animal care side. I work at Sedgwick County Zoo, and so I don't really think about the education side all that much. And so I sat in on the Conservation Education Committee. Okay,
Nailed it. CEC?
Yeah, that.
We got to use all of our acronyms. It's the zoo world.
So many. And just to hear them talk and get the understanding, and even being able to be in small groups with other educators, because, I mean, my mom's an educator, so different world, obviously, but still, just thinking about that and not realizing to a full extent, like, how much of even my animal care can help the education department to tell the guests our story and then get guest engagement, and they want to learn more and all that. So I never thought that the education would be my peak interest so far. So, yeah.
I have another thing. The Florida Aquarium is really fun.
Oh, yeah.
I've never been there before. I've never been to Tampa before. And the exhibits were incredible. You could get so close to some of these animals. And then the party out on the lawn was so crazy and loud, and the fireworks. It was a lot, but it was so cool.
Shout out to the cello player that was on the dock. She was a living legend. We loved her.
Yes.
Also had to ask one of the aquarium people for my own little brain. There's an exhibit with the birds, with the ducks and the spoonbill, and I was like, how do you keep guests from just not reaching out to touch it? Because my intrusive thought nearly went, let me touch it. And they're like, oh, we have people, but you know, you can only do so much. So yeah, that was fun.
Interesting.
I just think it's so nice just to be around all these people who have similar passions, because I'm super passionate about like ecology and conservation. So seeing these people just have this same passion is awesome. And also, Florida is so different from Kansas.
Yes.
Just
a little bit.
Just walking outside.
There's water.
There's water, and it like smells like salt water, and it's just nice to just sit and see the water and listen to it and see all the seabirds and just sit out there and go, wow, we don't have this in Kansas. Kansas, you go outside and there's grass.
Yep. A lot of flat.
A lot of flat.
Yeah. How about you, Abigail?
I've just enjoyed getting to kind of see the zoo and aquarium community all together. And then I've also actually never seen the ocean before, so I'm enjoying Florida as well.
Like I said, there's water.
I know, I got here and I was like, there's seagulls outside. And then also the aquarium, like Mary said, the ducks. If you know anything about me, I'm not a person. I'm actually a bunch of ducks in a trench coat. So I saw and I was like, guys, the ducks, they're like right here. You could touch them, but you shouldn't.
Duck babies.
I really enjoy watching all of these guys see the information that they've learned in class now utilized in a practical way, or hearing other people tell them the same things their adjuncts have through Friends University. Anytime you can hear those different voices, even if they're saying the same thing, it can be such a positive experience. So to see them hear the same thing and have that light bulb clicking on is really great. And the comfort that I feel knowing that the next generation is right here ready. And that's so important, because that's one of the most important things that any of us can do, is help make sure that we we are bringing up that next generation of conservationists. So I was just super proud of all these students to be here learning and sharing their information that they have and their passion, and also representing their generation, because often the different generations look at different things. And even Destiny, who's not here with us today, her whole program is how to work intergenerationally, and that each generation in conservation has a really key element. And then when we work together, it's like beautiful fireworks that we can all really get a lot accomplished.
Absolutely. Oh, you hold on to that mic. I'm not done with you yet. I think that is really cool. And I love the idea of, I wish Destiny was here. I would love to hear a little bit about that thought.
She was on her way. Yeah, she was outside somewhere. I could go.
Don't worry about it. If we will snag her later if we can for a couple minutes. But because I'm genuinely I think it's I feel like so many people when they try to go and speak to different generations are just like, yes, here is my messaging. Here is conservation. Here are red pandas, no cap. Did I fix it? Because I said no cap. Did I relate to you guys now? Yeah, cool. All right, skibbity. No, I know. But
That's the next one.
Geez. Okay, you guys aren't even skibbity. Okay. Cool. Good. But to find an authentic way to do that, I think is very important. And so that's very cool. Now, the reason I had you hold on to your microphone was not to wax poetic about that, but to ask you if you remember me.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
As a matter of fact,
I'm putting you on the spot.
I was going to ask if you remember these students, because if you remember, we kamikazed you at the Kansas City Zoo the next day.
Yes, y'all have been on the podcast before.
And many of them were ones that had spent the night there. Mm-hmm. So I thought that whole circle was really, really fascinating.
When we say that the zoo world is so freaking small, despite the fact that it is a national and international community, but a lot of the AZA stuff is focused in the States. I immediately clocked. I was like, wait a minute, this was the Kansas City crew, right? And then you're here, right? And so for those of you listening, if you heard the Kansas City episode, this is the crew that accosted us, and I was shoving microphones under their faces, asking what their favorite part of, I think it was a sleepover at the aquarium was, right?
It was.
Yeah. And then Shanae is the lovely person who gave Zoe and I a tour at Sedgwick County. And it was magical and wonderful. And the reason we did that was specifically because another listener of mine was like, I did a tour with this person named Shanae. And it was the most amazing tour I've ever had at a zoo. And so that's how we met. And now this is our third time hanging out, one of which was in Wichita.
Correct.
One of which was in Kansas City, and now one of which is in Tampa. And we've only known each other for like 6 months.
We're almost global friends now.
Yeah, it's honestly astonishing to me, and I love that.
You're right, and it is such a small world, and that's one of the things that I would always encourage people to do is in the zoo community, always go up to someone and say hi, introduce yourself. There is a connector there, and anytime you have that connector, you have then those friends for life. Even if you only see them once a year or once every 3 years, that connection comes right up again.
It really does. The faces that have lit up this year, this is my 4th year here, and the connections that I made, there are literally people that I've seen 4 times, and it's been at each conference, and we just light up when we see each other, and it's like no time has passed, which is really cool. So then the last thing I want to talk about is Safe Tree Kangaroo, I'm still bad at that, is not represented this year officially.
Unfortunately.
Yes, very unfortunate. I did the same thing. I searched, I was like, I want to go to our team, and there is no team. But, so talk about what you did.
Well, I had already followed the Safe Tree Kangaroo on Instagram, and since I saw there was no program for them, I was really disappointed because they're my favorite animal. So I just messaged the Instagram directly, said, hi, I'm a student. I really want to talk to someone if someone's here. I just want to know what you're about and how I can be involved. And I had some people respond, and it was great.
It was me. I was the one who responded first. And it was so funny because we had just met.
Yes.
That morning. And then I think you came to Sacred Panda for a little bit, right? Yeah. And so I'm there doing that. And then I get this message right afterwards. We were still outside of here. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, hi, it's me again. I swear I'm not the whole zoo world. But I thought that was really funny. And then the best part was I didn't even know who else was here from the Safe. I haven't connected with anyone here yet from it. So I was like, like, cool, let's talk and I will get you connected to people. And then Jade, who is one of the people on the steering committee and who kind of oversees what I do in public engagement and stuff, got the messages too. For some reason couldn't respond to them and just popped up.
Yes.
And the three of us just went to the cafe and had a long chat about how you can be involved and also just about tree kangaroos.
Yeah.
Just three tree kangaroo nerds sitting around talking about animals. And it was amazing.
It was awesome.
And now you're going to be helping us out with some public engagement stuff.
Hopefully,
right? Yeah. And so we have your contact info and we're going to work it all out. And that's the kind of thing that, like, when you're brave at one of these conferences and you do the thing, now you have that opportunity to be involved. And not only can you help your favorite animal, but that'll look good on a resume. There's all kinds of important stuff here. You'll make good connections. Jade's an incredible human being. Like,
she was so nice.
Oh my gosh, right?
Yes.
And so it's just amazing to me. I think it's such a small story. It involves three people who, you didn't know her, you didn't know me. I didn't know she was here. But just by sending one message, we not only had a great time yesterday, but now you have a path moving forward to help with the conservation of your favorite animal.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I don't think I'll stop talking about it for a long time.
So we need to get to the day's opening, whatever they call it. So thank you all for doing this. I appreciate you all. And have a good rest of your conference.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, and so before I get to the next interview, there's something else I actually need to share about this that I can't believe I forgot to say in the moment. But so, you just heard the story of a new person who will be volunteering for Safe Tree Kangaroo with the public engagement side of things because of them being brave and approaching someone at the conference, right? Well, me too last year. So I know y'all know that I've, spent the last year volunteering with Safe Tree Kangaroo as well as my work with Safe Red Panda. But it started the same way. I saw a poster presentation at AZA last year, and it was from this wonderful, brilliant scientist, Deanna at Cleveland Metro Park Zoo. And it dealt with how changing the diet of tree kangaroos could help with their reproductive viability. And that is super nerdy. And that's exactly what you're going to hear at these kind of conferences and get to read about. And of course, I was obsessed. So I went up and I started talking to Diana. And she's part of the SAFE. And I told her about my skills and that I'd love to be involved. And she's the one who connected me with Jade. So a year later, I'm now connecting someone else with Jade. It's such a beautiful thing. And that is what happens at these conferences all the time. And I had to share that with y'all. This is the second year in a row that Safe Tree Kangaroo will have gotten someone to help out on that side of things because that person decided to be brave and just happens to really, really love tree kangaroos. So here's my next interview with a name that you might recognize.
Getting pretty good at this.
Yeah, not too bad. So, tell me who you are.
I'm Dan Ashe. I'm the president and CEO of the Association of Zoos and Aquariums.
Woo, yeah, thanks for hopping on. So we're at the conference.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It's going incredibly well. I mean, we have record attendance here. We just this morning broke the 3,000 attendee mark, and that's almost 200 more than our record in Columbus 2 years ago. So I think that really is reflecting the enthusiasm, the connectivity within our community, the amazing work that's going on. So it's exciting.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So you get to do the opening remarks and then turn it over to all of these incredible other speakers. Is that like the beginning of it for you, or is that almost the end because you've been working to build up to the conference this whole time?
It's the beginning of the end. So I've been here since Thursday. We came Thursday. We did media interviews on Friday. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, 3 days of accreditation hearings, 32 accreditation applications. I don't get a vote. The Accreditation Commission is independent, but I like to sit in on those. I get to meet members. I get to hear about member facilities. So I learn a tremendous amount in those meetings. And then yesterday, icebreaker at the Florida Aquarium. So now today is opening, the opening general session, so beginning of the end.
Yeah, all right, I love that. And for you, as the head honcho here, what is it like? Like, are people constantly trying to, steal you for 5 minutes for a podcast and stuff like that? Like, do you get to breathe? Do you get to eat?
I do get to eat.
Okay,
in fact,
that's
I
good.
probably eat too well while I'm here. But yeah, it is nonstop. I mean, people ask me, are you getting a chance to walk around Tampa? And the answer is no. I pretty much go where they tell me to go, and but it's incredible. I'm talking to incredible people. On the way to the convention center this morning, I'm walking with people. Last night, walking to the aquarium. I'm walking with Dallas Zoo. I'm walking back with Houston Zoo and then Oregon Zoo, and so I'm getting a chance to meet people and talk to people all the time. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to for the rest of the conference?
Being done.
It's so real.
Yeah.
I get that.
I think for the rest of the conference, really interested in talking about some of the work that we're doing in animal program sustainability, because as I say frequently, we are aquariums and zoos, and animals are at the core of our business. And so really thinking about the future of animal sustainability, I think is one of the most important challenges that we need to face square up and make sure that our members are going to have access to animals in the future, and that it's ethical and sustainable and reflecting excellent well-being.
Absolutely. I love that. That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to say about the experience or anything?
Yeah, I'd just say our host institutions have knocked it out of the park. I mean, if people that had the chance to be at the Florida Aquarium last night,
Good.
The setting, AYA Young concert, fireworks. They knocked it out of the park. And Zoo Day on Thursday is going to be, Busch Gardens and Zoo Tampa. And so, really looking forward to a big crescendo as we kind of walk through the week.
Final question. Mm-hmm. There was some friendly competition between the three host facilities.
Yeah.
So I need the official answer. Which of the three is your favorite? No, I'm kidding. I would never do that to you. I'm just kidding. Thanks so much for taking
the one that donates the most to AZA Safe. That's
a really good answer, Dan. I like that. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, John. All right.
So it wouldn't be the AZA conference if there weren't students from Trevor Zoo here, except now it's the Trevor Lovejoy Zoo. And so we are going to talk to some of them now. And so tell me who you are.
I'm Ingrid Schmidt. I'm a senior. I'm one of the head student curators.
Cool. And so what brings you to the conference?
I've always had a love for animals. I'm very excited it was in Florida this year. It's been really cool seeing all the marine animals as well. And I just love seeing this new view. I didn't really realize that the zoo world was this big before, so it's cool to see all the connections.
The weirdest thing and the topic that has come up in all of these interviews so far is that it is so big, but it's also the smallest world. It's so ridiculous, and I love it so much. So, what were is this your first time at the Florida Aquarium?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on the icebreaker?
That was incredible. Yeah, I loved seeing all the animals out and about, everyone in action, and then also being able to just talk to people.
Favorite animal that you saw?
I saw the penguin up pretty close.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. So, what have you taken from the conference so far? Like, what's like a standout thing that you've heard or seen, or a thing that you attended or whatever?
I really like all the conservation aspects of it. I've seen a lot with golden lion tamarins. That really stood out to me. Just the way that they're trying to connect the different populations. There's like a highway that's going through, I don't know, something.
Yeah, habitat.
Something like that. Yeah.
Connectivity. Yep.
Yeah, really cool.
Yep.
And then also a lot of just the marine research that's going down in Florida as well. I've seen a lot of stands about that, a few presentations.
Well, you went to, because there's a local Florida wildlife protection. There was like a whole meeting on that, and that's what you went to this last session, right? Did you say you were going to do that, or am I confused by life?
I think, yeah.
That's That's really cool, right? Like that is such a cool thing to
so
focus on.
incredible, yeah.
I love that. Very, very cool. So, is there anything else you want to say about your time here so far?
Not really. I'm just really grateful to meet all these new people, create new connections. Everyone's been so welcoming. Somehow everyone knows each other, which is really cool as well.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, when you go back, what is your favorite animal at the zoo?
I have to say the baby red panda.
I know surprised.
it's really like everyone's favorite, but it's hard to not love. So
yeah, I love that. Very cool. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And so who are you?
My name is Max Amsterdam. I am also one of the 4 head student curators at the Trevor Lovejoy Zoo, and I am a senior this year.
All right. Very cool. So is this your first time at the AZA conference?
It is. I mean, it's incredible. I've been asking the zoo staff since I was a freshman, knowing that I would never be able to go. But until I was a senior. But you never know unless you ask. So I would ask them every single year. I would always be jealous of the head curators that got to go. But it's just the icebreaker last night was incredible. So much fun with the touch tanks, and they had the VR experience, which was really cool. The stingrays, which I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. And so you seem very excited about all of the swag that you've been getting. Want to talk about that a little bit?
I mean, the vendor setup was really cool. There's so many different vendors. So it's pretty cool to see. I mean, I love pins. I love collecting pins.
Same.
Especially from animals at our zoo. So it's pretty cool. I love North American river otters. They're probably my favorite animal on the planet. But they only are because of Scooter, who came to us my freshman year, late in the year. And as a little baby, she was found. So it's really cool to see all the conservation work happening with them and other animals.
Yeah, I remember when Scooter showed up. Man, yeah, that's very cool. So, is there any session that you've attended that stood out to you?
So there's probably 2.
Okay.
One being the Apopo, and being able to listen to all the amazing things the organization is doing with rats. It was incredible. I would have never thought that they could train a rat to find a positive tuberculosis sample, find landmines, help with detecting trafficked animal goods. It's really cool. And I was just so impressed. And then the second one was, I have to say, the Safe Red Panda.
Woo! So
seeing all of the amazing work that you guys are doing, and then our very own Director of Animal Care, Mr. Pugh, was able to speak, which was pretty cool. I took the whole thing on video. But it was really cool, and especially with Red Panda Weekend coming up, which I know that we have so much fun planned. We're getting the students involved this year more than we usually did, with cool T-shirts that we made that have our logo and little red pandas jumping on them.
Oh, that's awesome!
So the students are going to get that a big surprise at our Friday morning assembly. We're going to throw them out to the students to get them excited to come down to the zoo.
Hey, Kylene, I'm an extra large if you want to send me one. Just saying. I'm sorry, Ms. Depew, if you want to. Sorry, we're with students.
But we're going to share some facts and encourage as many students to come down and help support, since most of the proceeds from that weekend do go to Red Panda Safe and Red Panda Conservation.
Yeah, very cool. I love it. And one other thing that I have to ask you about really quickly is that there's another animal that is near and dear to your heart and near and dear to my heart that you now have at the Trevor Trevor Lovejoy Zoo.
Yes.
And that is binturongs. Oh, so tell me about your binturongs.
So it's Vivi and Anton.
Okay.
Vivi has no teeth, but it is one of the cutest things I've ever seen. She's a little old lady.
That's so good.
It's like a grandma with dentures, but she has a personality it's it emanates off of her. She's so friendly. And then Anton's just he's decided he found a shelf. He decided that was his shelf. That's his shelf. It's not Vivi's. It's just for him. But I've also helped make an enrichment item for them with Dr. T, who's our director.
Mm-hmm.
We took a bunch of fire hose and made like a giant hammock and put it up in their enclosure, which is also really fun. So
nice. Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time.
thank you.
Yeah. All right. So who are you?
I'm William Grayling. I'm a senior at the Millbrook School, and I'm one of the 4 head student curators who is coming here to the AZA conference.
Yeah, awesome. So you don't like a lot of the food choices that we're... No, I'm kidding. We're not going to talk about the food. Don't worry. So tell me what your experience has been so far.
Well, woke up early to fly here, and like after we got checked in, it like started that afternoon. It was sort of just like full days so far, and there's not really a lot of downtime. It's more so like there's constantly something going on, constantly something that whether it's like a new program, it's some like seminar or a talk about like what a zoo should do for getting like everybody involved in welfare or getting guests to be more engaged. There's always like some talk going on here that's going to be interesting.
Absolutely. Is there one that stood out to you more than others?
I went to a herp talk, and one of the speakers mentioned that she went from working at the Houston Zoo, where she still is, to then being chosen for a conservation project in Madagascar. And that just sounded like exactly the kind of path I want to take for a career, going from working at a zoo to then going out and doing like field work, like actual conservation work in the wild.
Very cool. What would your dream path be? Like if you were going to be at a zoo, what type of species would you want? Like how do you see that happening?
I could see myself working with reptiles or birds. Mammals, less so, just because I feel like they're a little overrepresented.
Yeah.
And I think reptiles in general don't get enough attention. Same with amphibians. So like working with herpetiles, I think just helps give them a little bit more care because they really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool. And with that being said, then what is or are your favorite animals to work with at the zoo?
So at the zoo, I like. I don't work with the snakes very often, but they're always fun to work with when I get the chance. The marmosets are sort of fun to work with when they like actually want to interact with people. The galagos as well, when they're feeling social, and the kinkajous as well.
Nice. Very cool. Anything else you want to say about the conference?
I'm looking forward to Zoo Day. It's going to be nice to go back to the Tampa Zoo at Lowry Park, and then Busch Gardens. So I've never been to Busch Gardens, so
okay, yeah,
it's going to be fun.
Cool. Very cool. All right, enjoy. All right, so who are you?
If you could believe it, I'm also one of 4 head curators at the Trevor Lovejoy Zoo, and I'm also a senior this year.
Do you have a name?
My name's Hector Stevenson.
Cool. Well, welcome, Hector. So we've talked a lot about the conference and with your peers, and we will do a little bit of that. But one thing I'm really curious about is what is it like for you traveling with like people who are like, teachers or, whatever the official role title would be. But like, they're the adults, but they're also here at a thing where it's not just like they're here as chaperones. They're here as zoo professionals doing the thing. So you're kind of seeing them in a different side of where you normally send them. What's that like for you?
Well, I've been working in the zoo for 4 years now with Miss Depew, Miss Bennett, and Dr. T, who are all here. And I think seeing them here in their natural element is really cool. I mean, these are people that have been my mentors for the past 4 years and something that I'm very passionate about. So seeing them in a place where they're like the most passionate and this is what they love doing the most is really cool to see.
That's awesome. I love that. When you said, for a second, I thought you were going to say seeing them in their natural habitat. And I was like, wait, what? Yeah, I mean, that's actually kind of fair. But yeah, no, that's very cool. Yeah, I think that's got to be fun to be able to build like a personal relationship beyond just the zoo. That's very cool. Yeah. So what has the conference been like for you so far?
It's been amazing. I mean, the icebreakers, again, like my peers were saying, was amazing. Seeing all these animals, I mean, some of them I'd never seen before, so it's great to always experience new things. And some of the seminars I've been to and different things have been amazing. Like Max was saying about the Apopo rats, I mean, that was unbelievable. I didn't even know that was physically possible until I saw it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm actually at this point, I'm just amazed that I'm still amazed because every conference I hear something and I'm like, wait, what? You know,
every year it gets more and more interesting in this field. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's so cool. So, what are you looking forward to, next?
Well, like everyone else, I'm very excited for Zoo Day. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, seeing animals and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, pretty much what I'm excited for the most.
I get that. Very cool. Is there anything that stood out to you specifically at this conference?
I think today I was in a seminar about transportation of animals and why communication is important. They told us a story about 2 beluga whales who were in Ukraine during the war and how they transported them all the way to Valencia, Spain. And that was just mind-boggling to me. That entire process was just insane. So I think, that really stood out to me as something that was unreal.
Yeah, no, that's really awesome. So how about you when you're back at the zoo? What's your favorite species to work with there?
Well, my favorite animal is Gus the Galago.
Okay, nice.
Doesn't really do much, but it's what I like about him. Very unproblematic. But I'd say working with, that's tough. I love working with the foxes during the winter because the Arctic foxes shed and they become that snowy white, which is just beautiful to see every day. And
that's awesome. Very cool. Anything else you want to say about the conference?
I think that's it for me.
Cool. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. All right. So tell me who you are and what you're doing here.
Yeah, my name is Destiny Cornett. I am with Friends University. I'm in their zoo science program. I'm finishing up my last semester. So currently kind of also here networking and job searching, as well as just, I call it being a sponge.
Yes.
And just absorbing all of the information.
But you're doing more than just being a sponge because you also spoke here.
Yes.
And that's insane.
Yeah.
You are, still a student, but you're speaking at the AZA conference.
Yes.
So first of all, how did that come to pass?
Yeah, I was planning on trying to attend the conference just for the networking opportunities. And then my mentor, Shanae Anderson, sent us an email and was kind of like, hey, everyone, is anyone interested in presenting at the conference? There was a little sweetness to the deal because then she was like, the school might pay for part of or some of your trip. And I was like, well, that's also an amazing opportunity because not only am I networking, but then people are seeing me present and I might stick in their brains a little bit more because I took that opportunity. So I came up with a topic, submitted it. I was like, why not? And actually submitted Evening Buzz, which is only 5 minutes. And then they sent me an email and was like, we really like this. We're going to give you 15 minutes. So I got even more time to talk. And that was kind of how that came about. It was just maybe, why not? And then they're like, we actually are very interested in this. And so
that's awesome. Yeah. I love that so much. And you've now spoken.
Yes.
So how did that feel? Were you nervous? Did it go well? Were you worried about the stupid slides and the dumb little pressy thing?
Yeah, all of the above.
Okay.
I was very nervous. Luckily, I've done a lot of interpretation work, so I'm pretty comfortable talking. But most of the time when I'm talking, it's in an informal setting where I'm doing more like keeper chats and smaller groups. So getting up in front of a lot of not only peers, but possible bosses and important people, I like to say, was very intimidating. But I will say I did have a day to kind of sit in on sessions before mine. And it was nice to see that and realize, okay, it's not as scary. It's pretty informal. People aren't going to judge me because I make a mistake or do something. So once I got up there, it was kind of not as scary as I thought it was going to be. It was still very, very shaky, very not sure, but I feel like overall it went really well. AZA is awesome. Everyone's so open and supportive, and I got a lot of positive feedback. So.
That's awesome. I love that. What were you, so tell me what you were talking about.
Yeah. My topic was in workplace culture. More specifically, I touched on bridging the generational gap within the industry. So we have seen a lot of change within the zoo industry as a whole just over the last couple decades when it comes to animal welfare. And then we've seen kind of with newer generations like mine coming in, we've had a little bit of a divide within maybe more seasoned keepers that are set in their ways, and then you have younger keepers coming in and having a conflict in values or what should we prioritize. And so kind of hinting on that and showing how we can not view that as a weakness, but see our differences as strengths and how we can come together for our shared goal of animal welfare.
I think it's really cool that you've recognized that at your young age and earliness in your career.
Yeah.
It's very true. It's something that I see a lot of. And I even think sometimes it's not even like a bad thing. Like, I think that almost has a negative connotation, but like, it's funny you say that because I have this distinct memory of somebody who's been in the field for a while. Yeah. And we had done an interview and we were talking afterwards. And she looks at me and she goes, keepers are just different now. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, now, when their favorite animal dies, they need a day off and they come back with a tattoo of it. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. And I actually encourage that. Yeah. That's just not what it was when I was coming up, and I don't relate to it. Yeah. But I did think it was cool that she acknowledged it. Yeah. But it was really funny how it just kind of, she was like, and I was like, oh yeah, everyone I know has their heart animal tattooed on them. And that's very real. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So did you get questions afterwards?
Not really a whole lot of questions. Okay. Our session did come really close. We only had about 5 minutes for questions. And the way our session was set up was there was 5 of us speaking and we each had 15 minutes. So at the end, it was kind of questions for everybody. And a lot of the other speakers were in a more managerial role. And so there was a lot more questions about that. But I was very happy in, I guess, not necessarily getting more questions, but I got a lot of positive feedback from people being like, that's amazing that it's your first conference and you're getting up and you're speaking and putting yourself out there. So I think I'm very happy with the turnout. Even someone who's very high up in the zoo that I'm currently working with, who I've actually never had a conversation with and have always been like, oh my gosh, he's right there, like that, kind of scared. He came up and told me I did a fantastic job. And that meant a lot, just being like, oh, so people are acknowledging it and they're seeing the effort that I put into it. So
that's incredible. I mean, after my second conference year, I was like, next year I should be speaking here. Yeah. It took me 2 years to even, and I'm a person who talks. This is what I do, Yes. So you should be really proud of yourself. And is it Sedgwick that you're doing stuff at right now? Sedgwick County? Okay, yeah. I love Sedgwick County. Mm-hmm. They're amazing. Awesome. So that's very cool. Who was it? Who came up to you? Okay, nice, yes, nice, very cool.
I was like, thank you so much. Like that meant a lot coming from someone who's very high up and has a lot of experience, and even coming to conferences, comes to a lot of conferences, and told me that I did a good job presenting. So it was very much a moment of, okay, I really did the thing. I did it. So.
You did the thing. Yeah. Nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So my listeners will recognize the name, but tell me who you are and where you're at.
Hi. So I'm Catherine Allen, and I am the curator of Zoo New York.
That's not where people know you from. This is a new position for you.
It is, yeah. I moved from Reptiland to Zoo New York in December of last year, so still pretty new in my position.
I'm so proud of you for becoming a curator and for taking this next step up with mammals.
Yes.
Question for you. Have you seen a nipple since you started?
Probably. Yes, I have possums and things.
See,
So,
and that's a new experience for you,
absolutely.
right?
All these fuzzy things that eat every day. It's so different.
And so I think we're gonna do an episode at some point. I'm gonna come and visit y'all,
Yes.
and we'll talk more about it then. But there is something that I need my listeners to know, which is one of the animals that you have is very important to tell everyone about, which is that you have a Wolverine.
Correct.
So real quick, like 30 seconds, tell us about your Wolverine.
Okay, so his name is Abisco.
Oh my God.
He is the only Wolverine in the entire state of New York, and he is absolutely fantastic. He's an older guy, very well trained, just the cutest thing in the world. I love him.
Amazing. So good. So, okay. But that's not what we're here talking about now. So we're at AZA.
Yes.
And how has your conference been so far?
This has been great. Now, we did get in late last night.
I saw your travel on the
stories.
stories.
It was a little chaotic.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, but we made it. The icebreaker was phenomenal. So many people, and Florida Aquarium threw out all the stops. It was insane. And then today, some great topics. I was in changing workforce culture, seminars and things, and it was just awesome. So much to learn.
That's so cool. Now, since you're in a leadership role and everything, are you focusing more on that side of things here now, or are you still like going and trying to learn about animals?
Yeah, so I love animals, but being in that leadership role, I'm definitely gravitating towards more of those sort of conferences, like resilient leadership and active leadership. Since I'm a younger leader, it's how do I form the team and get all that teamwork to make the zoo such a successful place. So that's really what I'm looking at getting out of this conference.
And so far, so good? Learning stuff?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And I have a ton of stuff on the schedule still. It's just packed with things to do here.
It really is. Yeah, no, it's been awesome. Very cool. Is there anything else that you want to say about your experience here?
Everyone should come. The networking is amazing. This is just the place to be. And even if your facility is not AZA, so Zoo New York is not yet, it's something we're working towards, but this is a great place to learn from everyone and really get your foot in the door and learn from each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thanks, Catherine. Always great to see you.
Thank you.
And so there you have it, a little look at the AZA 2025 conference from a whole bunch of different people. And I love that we all had different experiences and different favorite things. And some of us spoke and some of us listened and some of us were brave and signed up for things. And you know, it was so cool just hearing all of those different perspectives. But the crazy thing is, there were over 3,000 people there all having their own unique conference and their own unique experiences. And I am just obsessed with how amazing it is. And one final thing I kind of wanted to share with y'all about this is just how like sitting and chilling and connecting with people can be so rewarding. Because like, for instance, the last two people you heard from were Destiny and Catherine, right? And so I interviewed Destiny, and she was just sitting with me and we were chatting afterwards. And I had already talked to Catherine about coming over, and Catherine came over and we started to reconnect, before we started recording. But Destiny hung out, and Destiny and Catherine got to talking, and, that might lead to something someday. Destiny is actively looking for a job in this industry, and Catherine might be hiring or has a lot of connections, or might say to somebody who she hears is hiring, hey, this Destiny person was pretty darn cool, right? You never know. And even if nothing comes from it at like a professional level like that, here is a student who is looking to get into the industry, talking to a person who revolutionized the care of the animals and how things were done at one zoo, Reptiland, and is now at Zoo New York doing the same thing there and changing things around. And even though she's incredible and we all love Catherine, she's also at the conference now looking at things about leadership and stuff and learning from other people that we love and respect. And it's just such a cool place to be able to sit and do that and connect with people. And Gosh, I can't even share. I want to share all the like personal moments that I had talking to people and like cool things that were said and sweet things, but that's not what this is. But I cannot tell you how rewarding it is to be at this conference every year. Next year, it's being hosted by the Oregon Zoo, and I've already talked to their team, and we're already excited about this, and I'm planning on being there. I cannot imagine that I will allow myself to take a gig over a single day of next year's conference. I don't think I can do that ever again. I miss it. I miss that I'm not there, for the last 2 days. So with all of that said, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I do want to take a moment to say thank you to my Red Panda level patrons, Dr. Laura Schenk, Dr. Stephen Williamson, Barbara Bennett, Jenny Owens, Melissa Reed, Carrie Kirkpatrick, John Lewis, who is also here for stickers, Kevin Williams, and Cormac McMuffin. Meow. And we'll have a more normal episode on Tuesday, and in between those and this, that and this, whatever, you know what I mean. We'll have our zoo news on Friday. And until then, remember, friends, the word credits backwards is Steiderk. But AZA backwards is still AZA. The Rossifari podcast is produced, hosted, and engineered by John Rossi. Editing and fact-checking by John and Dr. Zoe Rossi. Our theme song is Sevens by Nathan Burke, performed by Nathan and John. Interrupting John theme and additional voices by Taylor Isaac Gray. You can reach John directly on Instagram and Facebook at Rossifari or by email at rossifaripod@gmail.com. Rossifari is part of the Daydreamer Media Network. Now, stop listening to me and go visit a zoo.